Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey there everybody, all my Crimsonites. Thank you so much, Gregory, for kicking off the contribution. Say, Kendra, happy Tuesday. So now Miss Single Mother is suing the city and the police. As her lawyer says, she was always a victim. Oh yeah, I know she did a whole press conference. That's where the thumbnail come from. Whole press conference trying to be mad at the city and the police for doing that was their job. They were supposed to investigate that. A shooting occurred. A death was the result. The police wasn't there. They don't know who was at fault, who did what, why he was shot, what was he doing before he got shot. They don't know that. All they know is that there was a shooting. Somebody died as a result of that shooting. They came to the scene to investigate. You the one with the gun. Your son was the one who did the shooting. You getting arrested. Now, they took a look at whatever evidence they took a look at, and the DA decided this is not a case that we can actually prosecute. It would be a mistake to go ahead and pursue this case based on how we charging, because we're not going to be able to prosecute this case. We're going to lose this case. So whatever the evidence did or did not tell them, video surveillance, eyewitness account, this, that, and the third, okay, we're going to drop the charges. We're not going to pursue the case. But that was what they were supposed to do. That's how the system worked. Something happened. They gonna arrest somebody. They gonna ask you questions. And they gonna see what's what. It's not up to the police to decide who was innocent, who was guilty, who was at fault, let folk walk away. No. You're coming down to the station. You coming to the station. Okay? Because your actions, a life was taken on the back of something that you did. So now we gotta let the judge and the DA and all that kind of stuff determine whether or not it was justified, something they could do, a case, blah, 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 blah. Should the state bring a case against you? This, that, and the third. That's for the other part of the judicial system and the legal system and the penal system to decide. That's not up to the police. They just gonna arrest you. Now we're gonna listen to a little bit, because the press conference is like 20 minutes long. So we're gonna listen to a little bit of it. And this is ridiculous. Thank you, Divine Photos. How can she win when they turn themselves in? Exactly. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely. So, several things before I start playing this video and we get to hearing something. See, it's rare that I miss. I don't miss much. Because the focal point of this live stream is not even her lawsuit. The focal point of the live stream is really the life cycle of the son husband. I actually need to create a chart for that. This needs a chart. The life cycle of a son husband. Because there is a deadly cycle that go on in the hood. It is very common and it is deadly. But the reason why don't nobody want to highlight it as a cycle is because the villains and the victims of the cycle are black men and boys. We saw two ends of a son-husband spectrum in this incident. The guy that was assaulting her is the same kind of mindset. He a maggle. You can't have men and raise them from boyhood to be emotionally unstable enough to do violence for you, but not to do violence to you. Did we catch that? Thank you, Malika. It's a perfect example of narcissism, unaccountability. Did we catch that? We caught two ends of the same spectrum. One grown, one in the making. The son husband, the maggle. See, there are certain characteristics. You cannot raise an emotionally reactionary man from boyhood to be emotionally unstable enough to kill for you, to do violence on your behalf. But you don't want him emotionally unstable enough to turn the violence towards you. You either want stable men or not. Because let me tell you something. The comments and the responses for yesterday's live stream was very disheartening on a lot of levels for me. And I really had to pray about it. Okay? Because we don't like seeing this cycle, because like I said, the villain in the cycle and the victim in the cycle is black men and boys. Same thing. See, the guy that was doing the assaulting, he was the villain in the story. The young boy is actually a victim in the story. And it's a cycle. These young boys that grow up under these single mothers with this kind of mindset, he emotionally reactionary, he don't think, they grow up to be men. They grow up to be grown. But they still carry that feminine, that toxic feminine energy where they reacting to stuff and they not thinking about it and they just diving headlong into the situation they ain't doing. See, the guy that perpetrated the assault in the first place, we know he a maggle. We know he a son husband because he added chaos to the situation. He didn't bring order to it. He didn't bring no order. He brought more chaos. He brought more problems. He brought problems. He was problematic from the get-go, which is why he's not here, because the son husband only ends in one of two ways. 9 times out of 10, he either going to jail or he dead. This one died from being a son husband, from never having that discipline taught to him as a young boy, how to have discipline, how to control your emotions. And because he didn't know how to do that, he was walking in and out of situations where he's turning up, he's popping off, he's doing this, he's doing that. And one night, he did it to the wrong individual. And then he got dealt with for doing that. Because he probably escaped that a couple of different times in different settings. But this time, another son husband corrected him to death. You understand? But the problem is that the young boy is on the same path. For those of you who think he did the right thing, let me bring something to your attention. A grown man, if he had seen some guy hit his mom, let's say he's not in the store at the time, and he sees some guy hit his mom, even if he has a gun, he's 9 times out of 10, he's not about to pull that gun. He gonna stop that dude, but he's not about to pull the gun. Because he's gonna use foresight. If I pull this gun, it's a whole other thing coming behind that. But that doesn't mean I can't stop him from hurting my mom. That don't mean I can't stop him from doing that. I can definitely stop. Because he about to catch these hands to such a degree, he gonna wish I pulled that gun out on him. Or he gonna wish I did it. Because he about to get something that he was not bargaining for. You want to put your hands on her? But come on, put your hands on me. We about to go there. Because I already walked in on you on some foolishness. We not even going to talk about it. I'm just going to come over there. I ain't going to say, hey, man. I ain't going to say what's up. Because, see, the time for that is that we pass. We pass all that. We pass all that. I'm finna come in here and tear your head off. I'm going to come in here and tear your head off. Now I may get arrested for it or something like that, answer a few questions because it's an incident that done happened. But I ain't got to take your life. But I did achieve stopping you from hurting somebody I love. You're not going to be just putting your hands on somebody I'm with, my mom or my sister or my wife or whoever. You're not going to just do that. Who you think you are? See, grown men, and I think to situations, right? Even with my dad who not here no more, tough dude, always had peace on him. Kind of quick tempered too. It didn't take much to light my daddy's fuse. First thing is he gonna try to de-escalate that situation because he knows what he's capable of doing. So we're not even going to get there. You know what the universal signal for black men to another man right before it get deadly? Do men know what they say? Y'all want to know what they say? The universal language for I'm going to tear your head off and we may end each other's lives here. So you know what black men tell each other? Hey, man, go head on. That's the universal. Hey, man, go head on. That means we almost there. It can turn on a dime. Do you understand me? Because it's either going to be you or me. I will take you there. But before I take you there, before we go all the way to the end of the line, hey, man, go head on. Because men understand how quickly this can turn deadly. How quickly an argument ends somebody's life. They know how quick that is. How fast it go left real fast. And men know that. Boys may not. And this is a 14-year-old boy we talking about. So he not going to say, hey, man, get off my mom. He not going to jump in and physically take this dude off of his mom. Because he's a young boy, he's still working on things like foresight, problem solving before there's a problem. He's a young boy, so he don't know that yet. He don't know that yet. So there were many, 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 many problems with the entire thing. But the most salient thing and the thing that I was trying to uncover yesterday was, let's not look at just at the surface incident. There is a deeper issue that is woven into Black culture. And it's one of many deadly cycles, but it go unspoken because the victims in the cycle and the perpetrators in the cycle are all Black men and Black boys. And that is the cycle of the son husband. They deadly. They dangerous. They emotionally unstable males. And you don't know which way they're gonna go. And that's what make them dangerous, because you don't know which way they're gonna fall. This is the cycle that give birth to the Pookie and the Ray Ray. Do you understand that? This is the cycle that give birth to the Pookie and the Ray Ray, that the menace in the community, the menace on your block, that dude that's always picking, the dude that's always arguing, the dude that's always in a scrap, the dude that's always, you know what I'm saying, you come to the store, he coming out the store arguing with the store owner, you know what I'm saying, he at the doorway of the store, you can't get in to do your shopping because he at the doorway of the store arguing with the dude behind the counter. That guy. We all know that guy. Let's see. Thank you, Arthur. So I was a son husband growing in the 80s. It's a bad deal. And pressure for boys to have to protect and be told to be the man of the house. Boys by filling shoes that were meant to be filled by a man. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Uton said, what is the difference between a maggle and a simp? It's not too much of a difference. They male hyenas, both of them. And they both gynocentric males. Joe Jones, thank you, said now she's a hero and sisters are telling each other they should carry so they can argue with men. Thank you, R. Lisa. This is why boys need fathers. That man who hit that woman was way too emotional over words. I find that men who act like this fall into that category exactly. Thank you, Great Britain. So that they carry the who gon' check me boo mindset they adopt from the only parental example they're exposed to. The thing is they become adults and are armed. Exactly. Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Distinguished Legacy, that a mother should be viewed from the same lens as John Muhammad. They both leverage the child's love for proxy violence and manipulation, but we are afraid to have that conversation. Thank you so much. Thank you, Divine Photo said, whether you're a man or a woman, if you encounter an ignorant person that can't be reasoned with, keep your mouth shut, walk away, live to see another day. Exactly. That's exactly what I was trying to say yesterday. The dude that was doing the hitting, he a fool. He a fool. You can't get involved. He a ignorant fool that's gonna keep escalating. He gonna keep on escalating. He gonna keep on saying something. He gonna keep on doing something. He the dude that's gonna walk up on you. He that guy. Like, you can't get that guy no energy. None. Because you get him an inch, he take a mile. You can't do that with him. But there are several problems. We're gonna get into it. Thank you, Donovan Sweet. So they need son husbands because women biologically still seek protection. Since the men they procreated with aren't in the picture, they tend to seek it from their children. Plus, hyenas see Black men as pets. Exactly. It's problematic for several reasons, okay? The fact that she's suing, she's trying to sue the city. See, and this is why I say I rarely miss when I characterize somebody. See, I told you she don't know how to shut her mouth. Didn't I say that yesterday? See, the guy cocked back and popped her. He stepped back. Before he hit her again, he stepped back. He said, shut up, or something like that. He was trying to get her to say something else, like keep talking. She kept talking. And that's why he went over there and popped again. He already popped you. So he, right there. You already know you're a fool. You already know you're a fool because he's arguing with you. Problematic. Do y'all know what time it was when she was standing there? See, y'all may not understand the dynamics of Chicago. I know a hood is a hood, but Chicago a little different. Thank you, Damien. Said, good afternoon, my sister. Just checking in. Cook them. Okay. Y'all know what time it was, and she had one of them little Maxwell stands. 11 o'clock at night. This almost midnight. You and your son. You and your son is outside in Chicago at 11 o'clock at night at one of them Maxwell stands. Them Maxwell stands ain't none of them in no good area. Okay? The best area is the one that used to be, that's on Hostility, or right off Roosevelt. Okay? Right, you can see it from the expressway on expressway. You better go there in the daytime. Ain't no way. None of them Maxwell places is in no good area. You got the few that pop in my head immediately is the one right there on Hostility. Then you got one on 79th and Stony. You don't go over there. Then you got one right off Independence and Roosevelt. You don't go over there. It's a bunch of them throughout the city, all of them in the hood. It's some of them I wouldn't even stand at in the daytime, let alone in the middle of the night. If you want something to eat, man, y'all better Uber eat this stuff, man. Have somebody bring it to your house, man. Because going over there, standing at that little window, it ain't nothing but crackheads. It ain't nothing but crackheads, drunk people, and crazy people that be around them Maxwell stands after a certain hour. You cannot go over there. If you are not part of that element, if you are not part of that street element, you don't need to be over there at all. And there was no need for her to be there at all. I don't care what she was trying to get. There was no need for her to be there at that hour getting nothing at all. You better call Uber Eats for something. Go anywhere else but stand there at one of them windows, man. Like, thank you, 81st and Peoria. Listen, you cannot be at them little window stands. Listen, it ain't nothing but elements over there. Crackheads, drunk, and they got mental problems over there. You can't stand over there. I don't care what kind of police sausage you trying to get. I don't care. As a woman, I don't care if you had a piece. I don't care who you think you are. You don't need to be over there. As a woman, you don't need to be over there at all. You need to be at the house. And you done got home, you ain't cooked nothing. Maybe it was a rough day, you ain't cooked. Call somebody. There are plenty of places to be delivering in the middle of the night. No excuses. You better go listen, it be 25 Walmarts. Get you a frozen pizza and come to the house. Pop that bad boy in the oven. Put you some Zoom Zooms and Wham Whams in the microwave and call it a cheap afternoon. You don't go over there. Don't go over there. It ain't even about being scared of it. It's just, don't put yourself in certain situations. You're not supposed to go in certain situations, because see, Chicago is different. They different over here. They a different breed around here. They be seeing victims. You could be minding your business. Do you understand? In certain places, even if you minding your business, you about to get caught up, because somebody gonna make you get caught up. They're gonna make you get caught up. They're gonna make sure you get caught up. You can't do it. It's places that folks just drive by and just spray it just because. I've seen this with my own eyes. It's just riding by and just spray whoever's standing there. Laugh and keep rolling. Nobody sees, nobody knows. You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot do that in Chicago, South Side, West Side. You can't do that. The other thing that this tells me, her doing, let me see if I can get back to these super chats, because I'm missing some, and I don't want to do that. Let's see. Thank you, Taurus said, would you consider Kendra G's son husband show? The mom was over the top Christian, calling him good boy. It'd be so many of them. I don't really watch Kendra G unless somebody send me a clip, or it be a viral clip or something like that. I probably missed that, but it's ridiculous. I could believe it. Thank you, Tech and Peck said, as a man, I wouldn't be over there either. Exactly. I'm going to go back to, I'm not wrong. Remember I told you she couldn't shut her mouth? And as wrong as that dude was for hitting her, that's why she got hit, because she couldn't be quiet. See, you don't know how to pick your battle. She don't know how to pick no battle. And her lawsuit proves it. Ma'am, all the charges was dropped, mama. All the charges. You and your son got off scot-free. The state did not pursue the case. You was charged, and then the charges was dropped. That man dead. His family got to process that however they got to process it. Your son got to process the fact that he a killer now. And you're able to do that outside of the legal ramifications that would only complicate this situation. The state dropped it. They dropped it. You can't sue the city and the police. And instead of knowing when you won, she don't know when she won. She don't know how to pick a battle. See, it's too many of y'all. It's too many of y'all hyenas. You don't know when you won. She doesn't know how to shut up. Just shut up now. Go on about your business. Your focus needs to be on helping your son with any psychological fallout that he may have for having shot and killed somebody. Your focal point should not now be to drag him potentially back through a legal system that y'all escape with the heads of your chinny chin chin from. Why would you willingly go back to the system. See, you gonna wake up a sleeping dog. You gonna wake him up. You ain't never heard of trumped up charges? Never heard of that? Now you want a payday when y'all was in there arguing? You the one had your son out at 11 o'clock at night at a Maxwell stand. You the one had your firearm within access to a minor. You, ma'am. If the gun belonged to you, how he get it? If you had a concealed carry license, how he get the gun? So it was accessible to him. Not on your person, not in a lockbox, not somewhere where he couldn't get it. It was somewhere where he obviously could get it because he got it. He came in. He shot the dude. Dude ran. He ran behind the dude to shoot him like 2 more times. They could have got you on some overkill type stuff. They could have got you at least on manslaughter, inciting the recklessness of a minor. Or what they call that, contributing to the delinquency of a minor. They could have got you there. State let y'all scot-free. And you don't know how to shut up. You don't know how to say, let me fall back. Let me fall back. Let me fall back. Because I already, we done got out of it. We good. We all right. My son ain't got to go to jail. I ain't got to go to jail. Nobody got to go to jail. Let's just deal with it. You feel me? How we got to deal with it. And then we just move on with our lives. No, she don't know how to do it. She don't know how to do it. This proves this is unfortunately this is why she got popped. Cause you don't know when to shut up. You don't know. You won. Ma'am. You won. Go home. You won. It's over with. No charges. We not gonna bother you no more. No, she ain't even want to be asked about it. That's where this is coming from. Yeah, my son shot somebody and killed them. How dare you even ask me questions about what happened or what led to that? Or how did my son get the gun? Or how did we end up in a situation where somebody's life got took? She don't even want nobody to ask her no questions. Now the city need to pay you? For what? You wasn't wronged. You was just investigated. Like they were supposed to do. You were supposed to get investigated. Duh. Why wouldn't they ask you questions? Why wouldn't the police ask you questions? There's a gun. Why wouldn't the police ask you questions? So they ain't supposed to ask you questions. Because I was always the victim, so I don't even know why I got charged. You lucky that's all they did. You gonna keep on talking. And Zaddy know how to shut you up. You gonna keep talking. I don't know why you keep talking. Don't know how to pick a battle. Don't know when you've won. Don't know when you done got off. You free. What more you want? It ain't like you served time 2-3 years and then they found you not guilty, but then you was mad at the city because it was like 3 years. Like, that didn't happen. But you spent all of 24 hours answering questions in some handcuffs, girl, until they could suss out what was going on. That's what they supposed to do. If I have a concealed carry license and I get into a situation and I have to take somebody's life, even if I righteously do so, even if I was in the right to have done it, the police are gonna question me about this. They gonna investigate me. What was the situation surrounding that? What were, what was this? Why did you pull the gun? Why did you fire it? The first thing they're gonna do is they're gonna try to see, was the gun legal? Did I have a legal right to carry it? Blah, 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 blah. Once they figure that out, okay, well, she ain't got no record. Ain't like she be in and out of jail. She's not a troublemaker. So now, okay, now what happened that ended up where you pulled your weapon and you shot this person and you took their life? What happened here? And the story I tell them better line up with evidence, forensics, the autopsy. It better line up. Because if it don't line up, I'm in trouble. Thank you, Damien. Said, not that it holds much weight, but couldn't the family go for wrongful death? I don't know, maybe. Thank you, Facts on Dexter. If I'm not mistaken, she also told the son to shoot an innocent bystander as well. The only reason, thank you, Frederick said, there's a young girl breaking apartment windows saying there's no law. Wow. The only reason that I have not gone for the whole she told her son to do that is because the video footages that I have looked at don't indicate that she did that. So it doesn't seem as though she told him to do it. She may have, but it doesn't appear to be like that from the video footage, which is why I didn't necessarily go with that narrative, because the reality is it doesn't matter whether she told. Well, it could matter to the overall profile of who she is. But as far as the way in which the perspective which I was coming with it, it was almost like neither here nor there. Thank you. G Money said, depending on local law, new charges can be filed. She thinks the legal troubles are over, but they're far from over. Yeah. Thank you, Facts on Deck. Said, what was Travis Rudolph in jail for? Exactly. Like, he could sue. Anyway, our lead said the way it works, the police arrest based on initial evidence. Later, the DA determined they couldn't prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt and dropped it. That's procedure. Now she sues. She won. Precisely. Precisely. I see that there are trolls and people that don't get it. Thank you, Ruminant says she needs to send her son to live with relatives in the country to give him a chance to live, but that would deprive her of an attack dog. Oh, yeah, she need her attack dog now. But we're going to get into the life cycle of a son husband. But before that, I want to show y'all the video. Before we go to video, I owe y'all a bam, 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 bam. You gotta hit the like button, bam, bam. You gotta because we have 478 awesome people who have hit the like button. Let's see if we can get the next 700 or so people to hit the like button. Let's go ahead. We're going to watch a little bit of her press conference. I'm back. I'm gonna back it up just a little bit because I don't even want to hear the representative talk. I want to hear her talk. I want y'all to hear her talk.
Hello, everyone. I'm Carlisha, Carlishia. Last name is Hood, Hood. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support for me and my family. On June 18th of this year, my life changed. My son's life changed. I've experienced pain in many ways that I would never have thought, never. What happened to me was totally unnecessary. Never in a million years would I have imagined being brutally attacked, beaten, and then arrested. I am thankful that the Cook County State's Attorney dismissed the case. I am also thankful to have my son with me and by my side, and also his charges being dismissed. I thank my family for supporting me and the people all over the world. The people did not play. Yeah. And I just thank God, everything.
Now, before I keep going here, I want y'all to notice something. She was talking about the stuff that happened to her, not us, not me and my son, because that incident happened to him too. It happened to him too. I don't understand why this little boy is not human. You know, when police officers pull their weapon and take a life, you know they got to go and get psychologically evaluated again, right? You know that they got to talk to a therapist after that, because especially if it's the very first time that officer has ever done that, you never know how that affects somebody. Sometimes officers be done. They be like, you know what? I can't even do this job no more, because even though I may have been in the right for that situation and in a dangerous situation, and you know what I'm saying, in the moment, I had to make a split decision, and this decision ended up with me drawing on somebody and shooting them and taking their life. I may have been right in that moment, but when the adrenaline is gone, when the moment is over, when stuff is calmed down, and now you have to think about what actually transpired now, sometimes people can't do that anymore. They be like, nah, you know what? I'm out. I'm going to find something else to do. Sometimes it's soldiers. They go into the military knowing, especially in wartime, knowing I could go to the front line. I'm probably going to have to, I know I'm going to have to shoot. Right? And when a soldier comes home, even though they signed up for it, when they come home, if they know they took life, they be having to talk to somebody. Like I took a life, like I probably took several. I was shooting in a whole crowd of enemy combatants, and I know I took somebody out. And I just got to process that. I just got to process that one. And then they reintegrate into society, knowing that they know exactly how to take a life and they know how it feels. And this is why a lot of times men who are trained like that are very calm, and they assess situations because they know for a fact they know how to take a life because they've done it before. And from all the accounts that I've ever heard, they all say the same thing. It get easier to do it. Every time you pull that trigger to blow somebody's head off, it get easier. It get a little bit easier. Now I know I can go there. I know I can go there. If the situation hit right, I will do it. And so they be calm. They'll diffuse a situation before they get angry about it, because they know once that switch get hit, there ain't no coming back from that. They gonna deal with somebody. So she's sitting up here acting as if that incident did not affect her son and that it didn't happen to him too.
Was revealed. And just everybody who has been praying and rooting for us, I just thank God for them. That did not go unnoticed. You are all not forgotten. And we are praying for all the families affected by this horrible tragedy. I am now in the process of healing and putting my family's life back together. During this trying time, we ask if, we could please have space to rest and recover from this life-altering situation. And that you all continue to keep us in your prayers. In the near future, I will be able to respond to outpouring of support. Again, I just need a little time to heal and to just get my life back with my baby. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
Take your time. Take your time, baby.
That's it. Yeah, I know.
It's all right, Color. It's all right, baby. You're strong. You're strong.
Oh, Jesus.
You're strong. You got this. God bless you. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Attorney Brandon Brown. That's Brandon, last name Brown, Brown. This morning, we filed a 4-count complaint on behalf of Carlisha Hood. This complaint is being filed against the city of Chicago and the defendant officers who were responsible for her arrest. The complaint contains counts of malicious prosecution, false arrest, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. We do not take what happened to Ms. Hood lightly, and we intend to pursue this lawsuit, and there will be additional lawsuits forthcoming. I want to add that Ms. Hood and myself, we recognize that there has been a life lost, and so we are praying for the family of this man who lost his life. I don't want that to be forgotten. We appreciate that lives were affected by this incident, and so we don't want to dilute or diminish that. However, Ms. Hood and her son, we believe were wronged, and we intend to pursue that. Ms. Hood is not going to be answering any direct questions. Myself and Attorney Williams will be answering a limited number of questions. However, once Ms. Hood has time, and keep in mind that Ms. Hood was just released yesterday afternoon, and so she needs time. But once she is able to process and reconnect with her family, she will present herself again, and we will make her available, but not right now. We're asking that you give her space. We understand that there have been a number of people going to her home, attempting to contact her at her home. We also recognize that there have been things going on in the World Wide Web that may not necessarily be genuine or without malice.
Yes.
And so we would ask each and every one of you out there to keep this family in your prayers, protect this family.
Yes.
protect this family, and I have good reason to believe that they need protection. And with that, we would open it up to any questions.
Now, I'm going to stop sharing. He talking about, I think they need protection. You think? Think this is a good idea? For y'all to be parading around like the state wronged you? If the shoe was on the other foot and her son got shot instead, do you think that she would want the person that shot him arrested or not? I don't care if her son was in there mollywopping somebody. If he gets shot doing it, do you think that she want the police to investigate his murder or no? Don't you think she would want somebody to arrest whoever shot her son? She would want somebody to be arrested. She would want somebody to be held accountable for deleting her son. Whether she thought he was in the right or the wrong, she would want somebody held accountable for deleting her son. Okay. That man's family, regardless of the fact that he was in the wrong, would have wanted somebody to be held accountable for his death, at least arrested, at least asked questions, at least something. She's trying to sue the city, the state, the police department, whomever, for doing a job. They supposed to ask you questions. Now, thank you, reality checks. She's doing a victory lap. You know how some people would take that, you rubbing it in my face. You already shot and killed my son, my brother, whoever that man was to somebody. Now you in the media running a victory lap. And he dead. And I got to go to a funeral. And you at a press conference. I got to go to a funeral. You got your son. I got to go to a funeral and bury mine. Now you're doing a victory lap. Some people would take that. Y'all know how our people are. Y'all know how it is in the hood. Y'all know that somebody in that hood that's not sitting right. Y'all know that that's how folks think. Like, oh, okay. You think it's sweet. You'll be at the Maxwell stand wanting another bone-in pork chop sandwich again. We'll catch you. You don't think people think like that? We'll catch you. She in the neighborhood. She live around that same neighborhood that man got shot in. You don't think they gonna try to catch her now? And I'm not wishing it. I'm just saying you gotta be mindful of what she ain't got no self-awareness. She don't have self-awareness, and she not aware of the environment that has now been created for her son. It's hostile. It's hostile environment for him. There's a target on his back too now. Cause see, the community is all right with this because the community is led by hyenas and a bunch of single mothers who would want their son to delete somebody for them. The only thing that matters in this case, from a hyena's perspective, is that the woman was benefited from those actions. no hyena, not a single female that is congratulating this situation and saying that the son was right and he was doing what he was supposed to do, blah, 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 blah. Not a single one of them women care at all about the fallout for that boy. What that means to him. Or what kind of environment is now created for him. That now he gotta watch his back now. Because you don't know who that dude was connected to. Just like that dude didn't know that hitting that woman was gonna end his life that night. Just like he didn't know that. He didn't know who she was connected to. So he thought he could turn up and do what he did and go home. That's what he thought he was gonna be able to do. He thought he was gonna be able to be somewhere acting wild, wilding out, and then hitting on somebody's mama. And he thought he wasn't gonna be dealt with. But surprise, surprise. I told you the outcome of a son husband is one of two. He either gonna die or he gonna go to jail. Okay? He found out. The path of a son husband always ends in tragedy. He found out. He thought it was sweet. He thought he was going to be able to go somewhere and maybe laugh at that or something like that. He didn't see no man around. He didn't see no protection. So he thought this is a free for all. Let me do what I want to do, which is beat on this woman. Because she arguing at me. I'm a maggle. I'm out of control. I'm out of pocket. And I've been out of pocket since I was young. Ain't nobody truly checked me the way I needed to be checked. As the old folks used to say, you can't stand the whooping you need. So he been going through life not being able to stand the whooping he need. And it ended him. Going somewhere, wilding out, not able to check your emotions, assess no situation, and running around here being chaotic, got him dealt with. You understand? That man she didn't even have to go get medically seen. Do you understand this? People talking about, oh, she was getting beat to death. You realize she didn't even have to go to the doctor, correct? Where was her black eye at? This dude ain't do no damage. I'm not saying he was right. I'm just saying folks acting like he was really big booting her in this corner. The 14-year-old, for all intents and purposes, probably could have took him. They round about the same size. He probably could have took that dude. But that's neither here nor there. The problem that I want to focus on. The problem that I want to focus on is the guy that did the assaulting, because he is a good example of what's wrong with the son husband. Thank you, Ink Pen. Said Crimson, the mother truly believes there will be no consequences. This is the shy. I don't know where she been. Is she like did move here or something? She ain't been here all her life. She don't know how this go. The problem with the guy is that he has son husband energy. Thank you, there. I said it. If I miss somebody's super chat, please forgive me. So no street smart. If I was forced to press the delete button, I move. Keyshawn and them would turn up for less. Yeah, if I had to do that, we out of here. Forget that lawsuit. I'm getting my son, and I'm getting out of here before something happened to my son. Thank you, Miss Jordan. If that's my son, I'm getting out of here before something happened to my son. You would think that if he stepped out on a limb to kill somebody for her, she would at least have the decency to move him somewhere where he can't be shot or hurt based off that action. You would think that at the very least she would thank him for saving her life. Here's another point before I get to it. Y'all always talking about how y'all don't need no man, and you don't need a man for this, and you don't need a man for that. I'm just going to touch on it, because if Miss Carlisha Hood had a man that was worth 2 plug nickels, he would have told her don't be at the Maxwell stand at 11 o'clock at night with his son. Or at all. Why are you over there? Why are you roaming around in the middle of the night with your child? Nobody asked that question. Why are you roaming around in the hood in the middle of the night at a Maxwell stand with your son? Why? What are you doing? What you doing? If she had a man, he would have told her don't do that. And then y'all would have said, he controlling, because he trying to control where she go and what she do. But has she had some type of guidance to tell her, I don't care how grown you think you are, what kind of gun you think you own. You cannot go to certain places at certain times because it's going to be trouble, because it's always trouble. It's always trouble. You don't have to start the trouble to be in the trouble. It's just trouble over there. Don't go over there. But she over there anyway. Trying to get pork Polish sausages. They ain't supposed to be eating that bread. Get caught on the roof of your mouth. Something fierce. You need to be at the house. You can eat that little soggy white bread at the house. That little hot dog bun be too sweet anyway. At the house. You can go to Save-A-Lot and get that. And y'all always talking about how y'all don't need men to do this and y'all don't need men to do that, when a whole boy had to come save you. I want y'all to think about that for a second. She don't need this and she don't need that. She big bad, I got a gun. But she didn't even have the sense to have it on her person. If you're going to be roaming around at 11 o'clock at night in the hood of Chicago and you got a whole burner, why it ain't on you, fool? What's the point? What's the point of having a burner if you ain't gonna carry it? Thank you, Steven. What's the point of that? What's the point of going through the little classes you got to go through to get the little concealed carry if you ain't going to conceal the carry? What's the purpose of that? Especially if you know you finna be roaming around in the elements of Chicago at almost midnight, when it ain't nothing but crackheads, crazy people, and drunk people. Trouble, all that spells trouble. If you know you gonna be roaming around, why you ain't got your piece? On you, not in the car, not where your son could get it, on you. You ain't got no holster, you ain't got no shoulder holster, you ain't got no hip holster. Be the Wild Wild West if that's what it is. Have it in your sock. I don't know where you have it. But why don't you have it? Why don't you have it? So you can pull the trigger when you get in trouble. Because you somewhere running your mouth. Your son wasn't in there arguing. You was. In there arguing and then couldn't even handle your own lightweight. Your son had to come handle your lightweight for you. And he a lightweight. So you got all that mouth and then couldn't handle what come behind it. That's why y'all need to shut up. Because you standing somewhere popping off. But you can't handle the pop off. Make that make sense. You somewhere popping your mouth. And then a whole adolescent boy had to come save you. Cause when he hit you, he was putting the flu-flops. And you was in the corner getting dealt with. After all that talking. And he wasn't even doing damage. And you still couldn't handle it. He ain't black your eye or nothing. And you still couldn't handle the lightweight. So I don't even want to hear no more. I don't even want to hear no more about how y'all don't need men to protect y'all and this and that. You need somebody to hold your hand. Not only to protect you, to hold your hand. And make decisions for you and think for you. Because you know how to think. You can't think your way out of a wet paper bag. This press conference proves it. Because she still ain't thought, maybe I should shut up and let my son live his life best he can. And let me live mine best I can. She still ain't did that. Now you want a payday. This is one of the beginning stories of the coming son, husband, son saga. Thank you, G Money. We're going to go into the life cycle. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sherry DA 2018 said, always on point, Kendra. I thought strong black women didn't need a man. Why didn't she handle that herself instead of putting her son in harm's way? That's what I'm saying. since you gonna talk, you need to be able to handle your lightweight. See, let me explain something to y'all in Chicago. Let me explain a little bit of the Chicago dynamic, because I know hoods be hoods and stuff like that. But let me explain something. See, in Chicago, regardless of the fact of whether you are a man or a woman, you cannot talk crap if you're not ready to back that up. Okay? There are places and people in Chicago, you cannot do that. You being a woman doesn't matter. No matter who you are, you cannot. It'll be to the detriment of your life. You cannot start doing this and you ain't ready to back that up. And you ain't ready to back all of that up. All of what you talking about. Because in Chicago, somebody gonna hear it and they gonna try you right on the spot. They gonna call you right on the spot. Oh, you bad. Let's see what you doing. Because it's always somebody crazier than you. Okay? So you better not just be talking out of the side of your neck. You better be about what you just said you was about and what you just said you was capable of doing and what you was going to do in a situation. If somebody pull up and say this and say that and do this and do that, you going to do this and you going to say that and you going to do that. You better be able to do that, because if you in the right setting, somebody finna try you right on the spot. Can't do that in Chicago. See, in Chicago, you got to be ready. You got to always be ready. If you going to talk crap, you got to do what you said you was going to do. And if you are not about that life, Chicago is very, very keen. If you are not about that life, shutting up is your best bet. Don't even talk. Because if you don't talk about it, no one will have the inkling to come test you about that. Because it's always somebody looking to prove somebody in a Chicago hood. I don't care where you at. If you in a Chicago hood, especially late at night, ain't nothing but the elements hanging around and all that kind of stuff. These people ain't got no sense. These people ain't got no sense. They not working with no sense and not have a full deck. Okay, so they ready to prove something. They ready to get into something. They looking to do it. They looking for an opportunity to get into some foolishness, and they looking for any door that opened in order to do so. Okay, I need y'all to understand that these are the dynamics in Chicago. I don't know if that's everywhere else, but here in Chicago, I can only speak for this. Many times, I have been in situations, you be in a hood, you all around the hood, anything can pop off at any time. It don't got to be late. It can be middle of the day. When things pop off, if you want to get out of there alive, if you don't want to get caught in a crossfire, a fight, a spray, a shootout, if you don't want to do that, you know what you do? You be quiet, you put your head down, you get your stuff and you go. It don't matter who say something to you, somebody trying to get you to join in, somebody trying to get you to witness something, somebody trying to get you to speak on what they speaking on and what they on. If you're not involved with that, if that ain't what you doing, you're not on what they on, get your stuff. If you ain't already got it, you got to shut up and go. Take your stuff and go. Because if you hang around, even trying to look as a spectator, you will get caught up. See, you can't even rubberneck in Chicago. There are hoods and you can't even stand around like you looking. What you looking at? See, you can't be on the sideline tee-heeing and kiki-ing somebody real quick in the Chicago. Who told you to laugh? What you laughing at, shorty? Now you in it. And you wasn't even trying to be in it. All because you standing around. You can't do that in Chicago. You can't do that here. All that standing around Kiki and TT trying to figure out what's happening, and you kind of no. That'll get you dealt with. That'll get you dealt with. That'll get you dealt with over here. That'll get you dealt with over here. That'll get you sprayed down. Dudes is real sensitive. Real sensitive around here. Chicks is too. Real sensitive. What you laughing at? What's so funny over there? What you looking at? That's the other one. What you looking at? Hey, what you looking at? See? Thank you, Welt says she need to be careful because when the police city do their deep investigation to fight the lawsuit, more evidence can arise that could have them circle back with charges for her and her son. See, that's what I'm saying. She need to let that go. Thank you, Ink Pen said Mama Hood almost sent her son, a little boy, to Cook County and potentially downstate. Yeah. He'd have been in East Moline. Thank you, Reality Check. Said great commentary as usual. Crimson Cure, you always give us the truth. My guess is CPD was protecting them. Then the lawsuit. I don't know who advised her with this lawsuit. That is not good advice. Okay. I just want y'all to know, whoever's not in Chicago, if you ain't lived here, see, you can't be looking and trying to figure out. If you're not involved, you need to completely not be involved. Completely exit the area. So for those who's wondering, why didn't nobody jump in? Because you can't do that here. You can't be a good Samaritan around here. You can't be Captain Save them and all that kind of stuff. You can't do that. The men here, let me explain something else to you why those men didn't do nothing. The workers didn't do nothing. First of all, I don't get paid to get into them disputes. Second of all, they see those disputes all day, every day. You don't know what's going to die down or what's going to elevate and escalate. You don't know. An argument could die down and that be it. Or an argument can end in a shootout. You don't know what's going to happen. They got to put their head down and work lest they get shot. The other thing is, if Chicago men see you as a woman arguing with a man or in any of that energy, you in the mix too. See, Chicago is very equal opportunity. Very equal opportunity. Chicago hood is an equal opportunity hood. So if they see you as a female in the mix with the men, you become a man. You become a man. So they don't interfere. When you in the mix with men and then you get dealt with like a man, you don't suddenly become a woman. You're a dude. So you got to handle your lightweight. You call down the thunder, now here it is. So now what you going to do? You're not going to jump in. The only time Chicago men will jump in, I'm telling y'all. Thank you, CBP, saying Chicago, you mind your business. Exactly. The only time that the men of Chicago will step in is if you are being very demure as a woman and you are being quiet and they can see that you are not provoking this situation and you're not down, like you're not with it, you're not getting with them. The Chicago dude to be like, hey fam, back up off her, man. Back up off of her, man. Come on. She ain't even doing that, man. Let her get her stuff, man. Let her get her stuff and go. I've seen it and I've been on the receiving end of that. I've done it. I've been in them situations before. They can escalate like that. In Chicago, you have to, as a female, if you want to get out of it, if you don't want to be involved and stuff like that, you can't be seen as an equal combatant or equal in the mix. You can't do that. You have to be like, you gotta like be quiet. At minimum, you have to be quiet. Don't engage it. Even if you're not gonna be demure, you can't engage it. Once the men see you don't even engage it, like you wasn't arguing with that dude, you like he not with you or nothing like that's not your man or anything, you don't even know him or whatever, and he coming at you and he being aggressive with you, then the men will be like, dude, you gotta leave her alone. You gotta leave her alone. She not bothering you, man. Go ahead and let her get her stuff. You gotta calm down, fam. They'll do that. Because if she not doing nothing or whatever, they'll be like, nah, you gotta calm down, fam. And that will at least give her enough time to exit. Because when they doing that, they looking at you like you gotta go. Because I can only hold this at bay for like 30 seconds. So because he might escalate, and I'm not really trying to get into it. I'm just trying to give you some breathing room so you as a woman can exit. That's what they're doing. They're not trying to fight for you. So that don't mean stay and get brave. What they're doing is they're saying you gotta go. I'm gonna cover for you for like 30 seconds. And then you gotta keep that same energy quiet and then go ahead on. Thank you, Roderick. So I'll simply say thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much, Roderick. Thank you, G Money. Said feminine women get protection. Hyenas have to show their strength and independence. This is true. Right? So when you have that energy, the men in Chicago, they would at least one or two of them, if it's a group, even if it's a group of like thug dudes. Like he don't even gotta necessarily be upstanding. He can be part of the elements. I've had the dudes that was the pookies, the thugs, the dudes. It could have been his boy. And if he see his boy turning up too much on a female that's not engaging like that, he'd be like, hey man, hey fam. She good, fam. You good, shorty. That mean go. Now, back to old boy. We know that he was a maggle because he brought chaos to a situation that he should have been bringing order to. Instead, he brought more chaos. He was escalating when he should have been de-escalating. Okay? Because that's what men typically do. They'll start de-escalating, especially when they find that they're getting too upset. They're getting too upset. Okay? So they'll begin to start de-escalating the situation because they know they getting hot. All right? And it's like, you know what? I'm really going to hurt somebody. So let me calm down. I'm going to calm down. I'm going to walk off or whatever. I'm just going to be quiet. They're not being scary. They're being men when they do that. I'm just going to leave that alone. Because shorty out of control, I beat them popped. What she don't know is I beat them popped in her mouth. So I don't even know this woman. She ain't know my woman. Whatever. Okay? Instead of bringing order, he brought more chaos, which ultimately ended his life, and it changed the life of that young boy. Okay? His chaos did that. There is a tragic life cycle of the son husband. But what we have to do is before we can take a look at that life cycle, we have to look at the qualities of a son husband that makes him dangerous. Because these son husband, when I say son husband, these male hyenas that are gynocentric, these are not right thinking men. These are the men that women can put a battery in their back and they'll do whatever. Okay? Right? So, what are some of the qualities of a son husband? The first quality that he must have in order to make him a son husband, an effective son husband, is that he must have undying and unquestioned loyalty to every black woman, starting with his mother. He must have unquestioned and undying loyalty to every black woman, starting with his mother, and most especially with his mom. Okay? His mother teaches him that he must be able and willing enthusiastically to give his life for her, whether that means getting killed for her or doing something to where he gotta spend a significant amount of time in jail, or something disrupts his life disrupted, but he can't speak against that. He can't think that that's wrong. He has to be okay with his life going down the tubes as long as she and her feelings are protected. Okay? Okay? What that calls for is the second trait. He must be reactionary. He must move on her emotional state at the moment that she's in that state. He has to be willing and able to move on her emotional state at the moment that she's in that state. Thank you, Lord Senator. I still wonder how this boy got a gun. It was hers. It was in the car, I do believe. He must, what this means, what being reactionary means, is that he is unable, he must not stop to think, ponder, or assess any potential risk to himself or others. In this protection, he cannot stop to think, he cannot ponder, and he cannot assess any potential risks to himself or others. He must be single-minded that she come away unscathed out of whatever the situation is. In other words, he is forbidden to use his foresight as a man. Because that's actually part of a man's problem solving, to use foresight to solve the problem before it's a problem. To stop, because a lot of times a woman does not need protecting so much as she needs the structure. So much as she needs the leadership to get her out of a situation, let alone have to physically protect her out of it. Because protecting Carlisha is not coming to shoot the guy. It's if she had a man to tell her don't be there in the first place. That's the actual protection. The shooting of the man is the reaction. That's the reactionary, okay? That's not protection. That's the reaction after there was no protection and after she didn't have sense enough to protect herself. By not putting yourself in a position to even be somewhere at 11 something at night at a hot dog stand in the hood of Chicago. You know better than that. Oh, you should have. Okay. So that's the second thing. So the first thing is his undying, unquestionable loyalty to every black man, black woman, starting with his mother. The second is he must be reactionary, meaning that he is not allowed to utilize his foresight. Because if he utilizes his foresight to prevent a problem, that counteracts him moving on her emotions when she say. And number 3, he must have a very specific definition and understanding of the concept of protection. He can't have his own, what a man sees as protection. He must see it the way she sees it. Black women see protection as after the fact. Men see protection as prevention of the fact, right? So in order to be an effective son husband, he must always see and act upon the concept of protection only the way she see it, not the way he see it. So protection never includes bringing order to a situation to prevent its escalation and thus to prevent other bad outcomes. Do we understand that so far? Thank you, Top Boxers, that a mother now has made her and her son husband targets for street justice due to pride taking precedence before logic. Okay? So he has to see protection the way she sees it, as a guard dog. Okay? Guard dogs don't prevent. They react. I'm talking about an actual dog. If you have an actual dog, he's not going to prevent the robbery. He gonna react to the robbery. If you in the house and he and the dog is in the house and somebody manages to sneak into the house, the dog can't stop him from the robbery. He can't talk about it. He can't set up no perimeters together. No. The dog is just going to bite. The dog is going to bite. Oh, you're here and I don't know you. You're a stranger and you in my territory. My only instinct is to protect to the extent of giving my life to my masters. So you're toast. You're dead meat. I'm gonna bite you. I don't care what you do to me. And literally a dog don't care what you do to it. If they're a guard dog, they going for it. And they gonna give everything they got. They gonna get their life. If it come down to that, they're going to get a life. Even if the dog is afraid, he's going to do it. I saw a video of a dog. This guy was walking with his dog. It was a big dog. And then they was kind of walking kind of in the woods and a bear, like a brown bear, like surprised them. The dog ushered the man away and stood between his master and the bear. You could see the dog, as big as he was afraid of the bear because it's a bear. It's a bigger predator. The way the dog barked, It was a high whining kind of bark. So it portrayed the dog's fear, but he stood there because the bear rushed the dog and the dog didn't move. The dog was ready to die. He was afraid, but that's his job. The bear eventually couldn't understand what was happening. He didn't get whether or not this was a threat. So the bear was like turned around. That's what a guard dog do. Okay? That's what a guard dog does. They don't ask no questions. They don't try to assess who's right or who's wrong. They don't try to assess the rationale or the morality or the situation surrounding it. All they know is somebody is a threat to my master. And I'm going to get them. And I'll get them even if it means I have to die. That's the guard dog. That is the concept of protection that Black women are talking about when they say protect, like a dog would. No questions. Don't ask me nothing. Don't try to assess the situation. And don't just act blindly to your death. To your death. See, a guard dog, if it sees its master in an argument or a fight, if they're going to attack the other person, then even if their master starts it, the dog don't know the difference. And it doesn't care about the difference either. All it knows is that now there's danger. My master's arguing, this doesn't seem friendly. I may have to growl and get this other person's attention. And if push comes to shove, I'm going to bite you. Okay? That is what Black women mean by this. Protect me. Like a dog. Not like a man. A man does not protect in that. He can come to your physical aid. If I'm somewhere and my brother sees some dude like hitting on me, that dude is about to get, I hate it for him. My brother may not shoot that guy or delete that guy, but that guy is not going to be happy about the results. He's going to get rid of the immediate threat, whether I'm right or wrong, really. That's what he's going to do. But afterwards, especially if I was wrong, I'm getting my head tore off too. I'll get my head tore off too. I will not escape accountability. Because this all could go left. All of it. The life cycle of a son husband begins when he's a boy. I'm going to say this and I'm going to wrap it up. Black single mothers, message. You cannot raise an emotionally reactionary boy and think that he's going to be able to check his emotional reactions. You cannot raise an emotionally reactionary boy and then think that that you will be able to control, or he will be able to control his emotional reactions. If you teach him to be emotionally reactionary, more than thinking through what he about to do, what he's about to say, and how his actions, what results his actions are gonna be, you set your son up to become the guy that got shot. You set him up for it, because that was that dude's problem. Nobody taught him, and he didn't learn how to control his emotional reactions. He got raised to be an emotionally reactionary man that did not think about consequences, actions, reactions, repercussions, none of that. Because had he been the kind of man that would think about actions and repercussions and stuff like that, he would have thought twice about hitting that woman, and he wouldn't have done it. He wouldn't have done it. Because you know what he would have thought? Look, first of all, I'm not so emotionally triggered that I'm about to be hitting on folks. I don't even know her. Number two, what if she got a husband in the car? I don't know who she with. I don't know who's here. I don't know what this could lead to. I'm not going to do that. And if she done got me that mad that I think I want to hit her, I'm out. Forget that Polish sausage. Forget whatever it was I was finna come with, because I'm going to catch a body and a case. So let me go head on. Because I don't even want, I got work tomorrow. I ain't got time for this. So we got to be careful about raising the son husband. He's dangerous. The very black men that y'all are saying are the Pookies, the Ray Rays, the problems of the community. He the menace. He's the one that go around beating on women. He's the one that's the stick up kid. He's the one that, you know what I'm saying, will rob you at gunpoint or carjack your car, or, you know what I'm saying, or do more serious things, grape you, deletions, you know, things of that nature. He's the guy that'll do the home invasion and all that kind of stuff. He's that guy. That's the son husband. Because he's not trained to think independently like a man is supposed to. He just drawing off of his emotions. He's going off of his emotions. Everything is his emotions, how he feel about it right now. Instead of stopping. Like, what? Yeah, I'm mad right now, which is exactly why I'm about to stop. That's that guy. It start when he young, well before he able to get into that type of mess. It's the thinking that makes him dangerous. You cannot have a man that react like a female with all that testosterone. You can't do that. Because men can do a lot more damage. A lot more damage. Physically. Because he's not thinking of any ramifications for his actions and what these things might yield. Careful about that son husband. Y'all raising a bunch of them. Because it benefit you. You cannot applaud a black man's violent streak when you get benefited and then be mad at him when you're the victim of it. That's why I keep drawing the correlation between the man and the boy in this situation, because we seeing them at 2 points in the cycle. Instead of making it individual, like one didn't have nothing to do with the other, it's a point in a cycle. It's connected. That's what I'm trying to get people to understand. It's a connection there, energy-wise. The mindset is connected. He's emotionally reactionary. So you can't be applauding his violent streak and his ability to just go from 0 to 100 real quick when it benefit you. But then when you are on the opposite end of that, when he is emotionally reactionary and unstable enough to do that, and then he turned that violence towards you, now you can't be mad and talking about why he didn't think about it, because he's not trained to think about it. You taught him how just to react to stuff, not how to think about stuff. Set these boys up. There are the two most likely outcomes of the cycle of the son husband is death or jail. Very rarely, it's something else. A black man has to see his own way out of the son husband conundrum so that he does not end up in one of those two places. That's why it's important to have masculine energy around boys so that this lesson can be taught. But that would defeat the purpose of creating the son husband. You create the son husband to be that mindless enforcer. But you don't like it when he turned that mindless violence towards you. So I want to thank everybody for coming through. I want to thank you guys for rocking with me a little bit today. Thank you so much for the super chats and for all of your participation. I really, really appreciate it. Y'all hang with me for like 2 hours this time, but it's a conversation that needed to be had. So I thank you for it. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you're not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Thank you, said Boggle Coffee Cafe. It boggles my mind as to which part of using your children as a human shield is not wrong with modern women. Thank you so much. All right. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.